we kind of know what happens there. They get challenged again, and about, they're really questioning who's supposed to be in leadership, and he challenges all the 12 tribes to have their leaders bring 12 rods, their shepherd's rods, put your name on it, carve your name on it. They've been wandering around the desert with these rods for years. They're dried out, they're dead sticks, basically. And bring it and put it in the tabernacle and see what happens. God's going to choose. And he always says in verse 5:17:5, and it will be that the rod of the man whom I choose will blossom. Thus I rid myself of the complaints of the children of Israel, which they make against you. People complain. He put this challenge there. Basically, this is something that can't get faked. I love it when God does this. When he does it, things that can't be faked. There's a lot of things we can fake. We can pretend. But he does things like can't fake. When there's he chooses, what he's going to do. And so they did that. And of course, in verse 8, it tells us what happened. That the next day, Moshe goes in the tabernacle. And behold, the rod of Aaron, the house of Levi, had sprouted, had put forth buds, had produced blossoms, and yielded ripe almonds. How about that? Okay. Some incredible pictures there of, we're back to the picture of the two sticks in his nail-scarred hand that he restores life. You got this dead stick. The two houses of Israel are basically dead sticks today. People don't even know where they are, but they're going to be restored in the Messiah's hand, in his hand, in his presence, in his tabernacle. Okay, so they're restored to life. The blossoms are, on the menorah in the tabernacle. It had almond blossoms. It's a picture of that. It's a picture of his spirit. Israel, produces fruit. We see that as he's restoring. So it's really just a picture of God working in our presence and in our time. So ultimately it's just like, let's just put this to rest. In verse 10, he says, bring Aaron's rod back before the testimony to be kept as a sign against the rebels, that you may put their complaints away from me, lest they die. So they kept it as a witness, because again, that's something you can't fake. First of all, almond trees don't put on buds and fruit at the same time. They don't put on buds and blossoms and fruit. They make buds and then they put on blossoms before they even have leaves. A beautiful tree, the beautiful white tree, and just with blossoms, and then it gets leaves, and then it grows fruit. Months later, it's got it all at one time. It produces life, everything. Great picture.